Hi guys, what's going on? I'm going to do a video today about Roger Scott's Stealth Wealth Alerts. I think that's what it's called, or Stealth Surge Alerts. And so Roger's been kind enough to give me free access to this to test it out and show you guys what it's all about. And that shows a level of honesty and transparency that is very unusual in this industry. If you guys watched my video with him the other day, we did an interview, you'll see how transparent and clear this guy is. So I'm really excited to do this. Before I get started, I wanted to bring to your attention our free course. So I have a free course called Learn How to Win 90% of Your Trades in Just 90 Seconds. This is all about how to sell options for premium and win most of your trades. So it's small base hits over and over again. 95% of your trades will be winners, and the strategies are fantastic. Everything from selling naked puts to iron condors to butterflies, everything like that. All you have to do is go to the link in the description below, sign up for it, and you'll get emailed the course. Some people charge $1,000 for this type of information, and it was in conjunction with the guy that I work with called Lance from ThetaTraders.com. So definitely check that out. I think you'll find it's worth your time, especially if you're having a hard time with the buy side of options where you're buying calls and puts. So definitely check that out. Let's get started. So like I said, I met Roger. He reached out to me probably a week or so ago now, and he was like, do you want to come and check out my stuff? And I'm not affiliated with Roger in any way, so I don't get paid for these reviews, and they're completely honest. And I took my very first trade, which was Amazon, and I made 55% overnight, so it was fantastic, really good start. But not just that, looking through the dashboard, which I'm about to show you in a minute, the results are clear that this is a profitable trading system, and I think it's a really good thing that he's kept this track record, and a lot of these gurus don't. So the fact that that there's a track record here, and I can tell that just from the first few trades I've done. I've actually done 2 trades. This first one is closed. I'm not going to show you the second one because it's not closed yet. That wouldn't be fair to paying subscribers. But anyway, the service, he has multiple services. If you go to his website, which is right here, he has a lot of different services under premium services. And again, the one I'm talking about today is called Stealth Surge Alerts. And it's a short-term swing trading service. So he's buying calls or puts. It looks like mainly calls, but also spreads as well on these dip buys. So I'll tell you the pros and the cons of what I found out with this system. But the bottom line is I'm really impressed with it, as you would be if you took one trade and made 55% overnight. So I'm pretty excited about it overall. If you don't know who Roger Scott is, I'll leave a link in the description. You can come to the site and you can read about him. He is one of the most experienced gurus out there. He was a futures broker as far back as 1999. He has 20 to 30 years of experience trading all sorts of things from commodities to options to stocks. So definitely check out his profile. This is him right here. Also check out the review I did with him where he goes into detail more about his story, which was really fascinating. I'll leave a link for that in the description below as well. So definitely check those out. With that, let's get started on what I found inside the dashboard and also how the alerts are delivered and all that good stuff. So this is the dashboard for the Stealth Surge Alerts. And you can see that the alerts come out on this feed right here. So at the moment I'm in the Trade Alerts feed. You can see on the right here we have different navigational parts of the system. So the Stealth Surge Alerts, the Trade Alerts, the Trade Tracker, which is important, the Art of Options, and the Masterclass. The Art of Options is one of the most beginner-friendly series of videos that I've seen, where he talks about how to go through trading options, what delta is, and all the basics to do with options, how to get the best fills. I didn't necessarily follow his advice in some of them, as you'll see in a minute. So the Stealth Surge Alerts, this was Amazon. And the cool thing is I got alerts to my email. So this is like Stealth Surge Alerts, so it comes to your email. It doesn't tell you much about it in the email, but it just says there's a new trade alert that's been posted. And it also comes to your phone, so I got it on text message as well. And the trade I did this morning, I was on the go, I was driving to daycare, and basically I had to close out this position fairly quickly because it was up so much so quickly. It was unexpected. Amazon was showing some relative strength, which was really nice. Let's pull back a little bit here. I'll show you the chart and stuff in a minute, but we go back to the Stealth Surge Alerts dashboard. So a couple of points here is, first, the alerts are spot on. So if we go to the Trade Tracker right here, I'll try to, I'm going to end up giving away one of the the recent trades. I'll try and cut it out quickly right here. So he has all these listed. So if you look up the top here, it starts off with the key numbers, and this is what a lot of these gurus don't put. They just kind of hide this because generally it's not very good. With this particular service, you can see that it's actually very good. So he trades both the stock and the options. So on the left here, you can see the stock statistics. So you get percentage gain for the stocks, for the average loss for the stocks, the average return for the stocks, the median hold time, which is 5 days for the stocks, the overall gain, the overall loss, and the profit factor. Now the profit factor being 1 is, anything above 1 is good. If you're at 2, that is phenomenal. That means, you're getting twice your win size compared to your loss size, which is fantastic. So when you have a win rate of 77%, you're doing fantastic. If you scroll along here, though, the really exciting stuff comes in the option stats, which is why I decided to trade the options rather than the underlying stock. So you can see here the option stats are really nice. We zoom in here. Average gain per option is 39.6%. Average loss might seem bad, but remember we have a 77% win rate here, and the average return per options is 12%. The options portfolio since 12/16 is 2,000%. The total gains from this tracking is 124,000. The total losses is -72, leaving a profit of 52,000 and a profit factor, which is spectacular, of 1.72. So if you have a 77% win rate and a profit factor of 1.72, you have a profitable system. And there's enough data in the spreadsheet to conclude that that is the case. Kind of scroll down here, you can see all the entries all the way back here, down to here. So we have a lot of entries here. I think number of trades is, if we go back to the side here, number of trades is whatever 66 plus 19 is, 85. My brain's not fully working today. So 85 trades, we have a 77% win rate, profit factor 210 on the stocks, but more impressively 1.72. Even though it's a smaller profit factor, the actual profits are much higher, which is what you want. So the actual spreadsheet itself, it gives the trade numbers, so 86 I guess is the number of trades. And then at ticker, entry date, buy price, exit date, sell price, percent return, $1,000 return, held days, so you can see the number of days it was held, option data, so you get the strike price, you get whether it's a call or a put, and you look down here, it's quite a lot of calls, there's a few puts in there, but mainly calls. And I think this is partly because the strategy, and I'm still trying to figure this out, because this is one of the pros, well, the cons of the service, I'd say, not con as in the con, but as in what I consider to be not the best so far, is the strategy is not outlined in great detail. It seems like he's buying dips on stocks using call options. So what happens is your IV drops as the stock comes down, and then he's buying call options to get the low IV, so the low premium, and then it gets that extra exponential boost as the stock recovers, with the IV increasing again as things get more volatile. And so that seems to be his basic strategy. It's outlined a little bit in the videos, but not to a huge degree. So it's kind of left, I'm kind of left wondering what exactly the thesis for the trade actually is. Now he may go over these in videos during the day. He has a couple of sessions where he talks about this stuff, but I haven't been part of the service long enough to know whether that's true or not. So you have to kind of take his word a little bit on it. You can look at your charts for yourself and figure that out. But for example, Amazon here, he did a fill price of $5.50, and that was actually a few days ago. So hopefully you can read this. Amazon was so 5 days ago, and he bought the call options, so the 27th of September 175 strike at $5.50, and he just sold it this morning for $7.30, which is a 32% return. He made $180 on it on one contract, I'm guessing it was, or maybe one contract possibly. And with a 5k return, you'd have made $16.36. So that was pretty nice. And so I got lucky. I joined this service, and Amazon was actually dipping even further. So if we look back to September 30th, which is right here, so this was Friday, Amazon actually made a move up. And when I first looked at it, the options had gone from 550 to 6 something. So I kind of held off and let it kind of come down. And I bought it yesterday. I averaged in around this area, just a couple of contracts to test this out, And boom, this morning all the way up to here. And I got out a little bit early, not quite at the top, about here somewhere. And I took a screenshot to show you guys. So I got 55% overnight. This was my fill from my Tasty Trade account. You can see I filled Amazon at 440, so I managed to get $1 less on the entry than Roger did, which partly coincidence, partly timing, I guess. But I got a better fill for that, which was nice because sometimes you can't get as good fills as these guys. And basically, I got in there, and on the 4th, which is yesterday. This is the time, and then today I filled it 685. I just mark it out because, like I said, I was actually traveling and I'm not very good with the app on my phone, and I saw we were up significantly. I knew it was up at least 50%, so I marketed out for 55% overnight. So this is kind of the start of a review process because although this is really exciting, it's always hard to tell whether a new service is going to be fantastic, even if you have a really good track record like we see in the trade tracker right here. This is definitely like, you can't judge it from one trade, right? So you can look and backtest, and I believe all these numbers. It's clear just from this one trade. If he's honest about this one, he's probably going to be honest about the rest of them, right? So the rest of them seem to be very reasonable. You can go through and check it out. So he held Amazon for 6 days. We go over here, actually you can see the options a bit more. He held option, so days held, he held it for 6 days. I got lucky just with the timing of when I got access to the service. So you can see the percent return was 32%. I did a bit better because I got lucky. I didn't quite hit his exit price. I got a bit less. Probably because I wasn't really at my computer when this happened. But you can still do these on the go because you're holding them for 6 days, 5 days, sometimes 1 day, 2 days, 1 day, 2 days, up to 14 or even 22 days, 44 days here. So these are swing trades. They're simple to enter. You get really good layout on what the actual alert is. So you get notified by email and text, but you also get more details when you go to the dashboard here and it says trade alerts. I'll show you what I got with the Amazon trade right here. So the Amazon trade came out, trying to not show you too much stuff here. Let's see. So we go down a little bit more. I'll show you what information you get in the actual alerts if it can. It's a little clunky. See if I can scroll down here. There we go. Alright, so on the 30th of August, this is when he said, we want to open a new long position in Amazon. If you're trading the stock, buy to open Amazon. If you're trading the option, buy to open Amazon September 27th, which is the calls I did, 2024, expiration 175 call strike. If you're trading the spread, so in his little video courses, he teaches you about spreads as well, so you can limit your risk. Also limits your potential reward, but sometimes that's what you'd like to do, so he gives you the spread option too. So in terms of entry, this was very timely. Sure, it went down a little bit after this and I got a better fill, but this is pretty good. The only comment here is what I made earlier, is that there's no thesis here written out. It's not like, oh, it's dipping, I think it's hitting the 200 EMA or whatever it's doing. I feel like we can get a bounce here based on this, or, you know, there's no trade thesis put in here, which is definitely, I would say, the only criticism I have so far of this system. And so you can see, I'm going to skip over that pick because it's still open. And this was the alert this morning on the 5th of September. Filled the, it was 178, so he's got his stock out, and he also got the underlying. So that was the underlying, then 730 on the option. We want to close our position in Amazon. If you're trading the stock, sell to close Amazon. If you're trading the options, sell to close those. If you're trading the spread, sell to close. So again, the only criticism here is there's no real thesis here about why we're closing. Is it just because we had 30% profit? The average profit is 12% or so on the options, so obviously that's a really good gain and most people would be happy with that, so maybe it goes without saying, but there's no thesis here saying why we're closing now and not holding for 180, say, on Amazon. Overall, this is the first of hopefully many reviews of these trades because I really like these. It's called Stealth Surge Alerts. It's a swing trading service. Typical hold is, I think it said about 5 days or so. It's in the trade tracker right here. So average hold time is 5 days, but that varies a lot because it's an average, right? So anyway, overall, I'm really impressed with my first trade. I'm actually in the second trade. It's about even at the moment, but it's just day one, so I'm not particularly concerned. I might average in a little bit. I'm taking really small positions, like 1 or 2 contracts on these, just for fun, just for these review purposes. Anyway, to summarize, 55% overnight on Amazon, first trade. He's obviously doing these legitimate trades. They're not just made up numbers in a spreadsheet. And I'm pretty impressed so far. So thank you, Roger, for giving me access to your, I keep getting the name of this mixed up, Stealth Surge Alerts. So they're surging, I guess, on a dip. Roger, feel free to correct me if you see this and send me an email about my slight criticism there about what the trade thesis is, and I'll make sure to include it in the next video. Again, I have no affiliation with Roger. We're just getting on well because I'm testing out stuff and we did an interview, and it looks to me like this is a very high quality service. Anyway, hope you guys have a good day, and I'll talk to you soon.